Welcome to Wildwood. I want to thank you for coming here today, and I want to tell you a little bit about this place, this house, and this town, and the family. So, like I said, this house is known as Wildwood. Wildwood was built in 1837, completed by John Lilly, and it was built for Alfred Beckley. You can see somewhat of its original shape here in the house. Most of it has been restored to its original condition, but it is a double log cabin. So that means it has 2 rooms downstairs and 2 rooms directly upstairs. Now the outside of the house may not look like a cabin. It is today covered in white clapboard to protect it from the elements. But upstairs you can see some of the original beams from the inside of the house. Now, Wildwood. Wildwood was inhabited by the Beckley family. The town of Beckley is named after the Beckley family. And originally this house sat in the middle of a wilderness, pretty much. It was Western Virginia at the time. This house is older than our state being founded in the 1860s. And so this house was originally in the wilderness of Western Virginia. And when Alfred moved here with his family, it was a wilderness. Like I said, the house originally was named Park Place. He changes the name to Wildwood. When you looked out the window of the house back then, it looked completely different from what it looks like today. That road that runs in front of the house was actually originally a turnpike, the Giles Fayette and Canal Turnpike. And that road, if you don't know what a turnpike is back in the day, a turnpike is a road that a toll was paid on, because when you got to the toll, there would be a wooden beam across the road. You would pay a toll, and they would turn the wooden beam called a pike. And when they turned the pike, you could continue down the road. So a turnpike was in front of the house, and it made this a good spot for Alfred Beckley, at least he thought, to build his house and start a town. The turnpike would be one of the major roads cutting across the wilderness of Western Virginia. Now, Alfred Beckley, when he moved here to the house, it was a big move for his family. In the 2 rooms downstairs, like I said, parlor and library. This is the parlor we're standing in today. Parlor is, the word parlor comes from the French word that means to speak. And so this is where you would entertain your guests and your visitors. In this room, we see a couple of remnants of the family. So we're going to talk a little bit about them, if you can hang on to the family tree here for a minute with me. So Alfred Beckley, like I said, moved here with his family in 1837. In 1837, he retires from the military. He's been stationed in Florida. He is a graduate of West Point. He moves here with his wife and 3 little baby boys. His first wife's name is Amelia Neville Craig. Now, Amelia and Alfred, they move here to Wildwood. They have 3 little boys, and eventually they're going to have 3 more little boys. They live here with 6 young sons. Eventually, Amelia is going to be pregnant with a little girl. So when she gives birth to a little girl, her name is Emma Jane, first girl of the family. Unfortunately, Amelia does die in childbirth, giving birth to Emma Jane. And even worse, Emma Jane only survives to the age of 2 before she dies of scarlet fever. So Alfred is stuck here in this house in the middle of a wilderness, pretty much, with 6 young boys. And so he does remarry. He remarries Jane Rapp. Jane Rapp is going to give him 2 more sons, so that is 8 little boys. And then eventually he's going to have 1 baby girl. Her name is Mariah. Mariah is his 10th child that we know of, 9th that lived to adulthood. And Mariah is the apple of her father's eye. She's a little bit spoiled by her father. She's the baby and the only girl. And to just give you a brief example of how she lived here and how she was treated by her father, very spoiled. This behind me is Mariah's piano. So Mariah's piano came from New York. It is the first piano in Raleigh County, and it was one of 2 that were brought here at the same time. So like I said, it's from New York. It's an Arian piano, and when Alfred bought it, he bought one for Mariah and one for his granddaughter, Mary. Both pianos were brought from New York to the Prince Station in Beckley, or just south of Beckley, or north Beckley. And the Prince Station, very popular train station at the time, becomes even larger. The Prince family is related to the Beckleys. But the piano is brought from New York to Prince via train, and then Alfred goes and picks it up, and it's brought from Prince to Wildwood via ox cart. So this piano took a while to get here. It's very heavy, very big, takes up most of the room. But Mariah played this piano. She even had a German piano instructor who taught her classical music and would come and visit her and send her music, and so she learned piano that way. Now, a couple other things in this room. You will see the clock that is above the fireplace. That is an 8-day clock, and that clock, you wind it and it will run for 8 days, and then story goes, or legend goes, that if you forget to wind it, someone in your house dies. So don't forget to wind your 8-day clock. All the clocks in Wildwood are original to the house. This clock is one of two. They're identical. They're the ones across the hall in the library. And if you notice the clock, it has a very intricate painting inside the glass door, and that is hand painted in reverse on the inside of the clock. Pretty neat to see. Now, as we leave the parlor, we are going to walk across the hall to the library. And as you walk to the library, take a glance at the staircase. The staircase is beautiful old staircase, original, maple to the house. And then the pine coating on the hallway in the foyer as well is original. It has been restored and polished for us today. And then the hat rack, hat stand in the foyer is also original. So we're gonna head over to the library. You can look at the foyer here, and I'll meet you over there.